Under the pale glow of a waning moon, the circus tent loomed like a spectre against the night sky, its once vibrant stripes now faded to ghostly shrouds of white and crimson. The fabric F lapped softly in the cold wind, whispering secrets to the darkness, as if it held the memory of laughter long forgotten. A dim, flickering light struggled to stay alive at the entrance, casting unsettling shadows that danced and twisted like phantoms on the dew-kissed grass. In the distance, a faint echo of joyous laughter could be heard, haunting and hollow, reverberating through the stillness as though carried by unseen spirits. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and something sweet yet rotten, a cloying reminder of past revelries now abandoned. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of the tent poles and the rustle of unseen creatures in the underbrush, leaving an unsettling chill creeping down the spine of anyone daring enough to linger near this forsaken relic. Of merriment, what becomes of the dreams spun within this fabric when the lights dim and shadows whisper of forgotten tales? In the dim corners of our imagination, where shadows stretch and the mind plays tricks, fear finds fertile ground to grow. It is here, in the mysterious interplay of light and dark, that clowns, once cherished as harbingers of joy and laughter, have transformed into twisted icons of terror. This haunting metamorphosis speaks to a deeper, more primal fear that lurks within the human psyche. Originally figures of amusement, clowns were designed to bring smiles and laughter to audiences with their exaggerated features, bright costumes, and playful antics. However, over time, their painted faces and unnatural expressions have taken on more sinister connotations. The stark contrast between their cheerful exterior and the potential for hidden malevolence beneath the mask has led to an unsettling dichotomy that preys upon our fears of the unknown. The phenomenon known as coulrophobia, or the fear of clowns, is a testament to the cultural shift in perception. This transformation is often fueled by popular media, where clowns are frequently portrayed as menacing figures lurking in the shadows, waiting to unleash chaos. Whether it is the eerie smile that appears too wide, or the eyes that seem to follow you even when you look away, clowns have become the embodiment of a fear that is both irrational and deeply ingrained. The fear of clowns taps into a fundamental aspect of human psychology: the fear of the uncanny. Sigmund Freud described this as an unsettling feeling when something familiar is rendered strange, creating a sense of discomfort and dread. Clowns, with their exaggerated features and behaviors, straddle the line between the known and the unknown, triggering this instinctual response. Moreover, the makeup and masks that clowns wear obscure their true emotions, instigating a fear of deception. This inability to read genuine expressions sparks anxiety, as it violates the trust and transparency we seek in human interactions. In this sense, clowns become symbols of the unpredictable, embodying the chaos and disorder that lie just beneath the surface of our orderly world. In the circus of shadows, where whispers of forgotten tales stir the air, clowns now stand as eerie embodiments of fear, their once joyous countenances contorted into masks of terror. They remind us that beneath the veneer of laughter and delight, there lies a more profound, unsettling truth, that fear is never far from the surface, waiting to transform the familiar into the frightening. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its final golden rays across the sleepy town, the carnival grounds began to stir with an unnatural life. The air was thick with the smell of cotton candy, popcorn, and the metallic tang of old machinery. Colorful lights blinked sporadically, their once vibrant hues now dulled to unsettling shades of muted pinks and greens, casting an inconsistent glow over the worn-out attractions. a strange mist, creeping like a silent thief, rolled across the fairgrounds, weaving through the rusty carnival rides and tattered tents. It clung to the ground, obscuring forgotten candy wrappers, and trampled tickets, leaving a damp chill in its wake. In the distance, the faint echo of a calliope played a haunting melody, its notes warbling through the air like a mournful ghost from carnivals past. The Ferris wheel stood as a towering sentinel against the twilight, its skeletal frame silhouetted. Against the deepening sky, it creaked ominously with each slow rotation, as if groaning under the weight of its own history. Nearby, the carousel spun lazily, its once proud horses now faded and chipped, their glassy eyes staring blankly into the encroaching darkness. Children's laughter echoed intermittently, a sound both joyous and disconcerting, as if carried by the same unseen spirits that whispered through the shadowed corners of the grounds. The voices seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere, mingling with the distant chatter of carnival goers and the occasional bark of a vendor hawking his wares. The atmosphere was one of eerie nostalgia, a surreal blend of the past and present, where time seemed to stand still, trapped in an eternal twilight. Here, beneath the flickering lights and swirling mist, the carnival at dusk became a realm of dreams and shadows, where the boundary between reality and imagination blurred, leaving one to wonder what secrets lay hidden in the gathering gloom. Emily Harper, a spirited 17-year-old with a penchant for adventure, found herself drawn to the carnival each year. With her wide, curious eyes and a heart that thrummed with both excitement and trepidation, Emily was a natural explorer of the strange and mysterious. Her long auburn hair, often tied back in a messy ponytail, seemed to capture the same restlessness that defined her spirit. Emily's role at the carnival. This year, Emily had taken a summer job at the carnival, hoping to earn some extra money while immersing herself in the enchanting world she had always adored from afar. Her duties were varied, running the ring toss, helping at the cotton candy stand, and sometimes even assisting the fortune teller, Madame Zora, whose cryptic predictions often sent a shiver of thrill down Emily's spine. An unsettling presence. Despite the carnival's familiar allure, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was different this year. It was as if an invisible thread of unease wove through the air, tugging at her senses whenever she passed by the clown tent. Situated at the far edge of the carnival grounds, the tent was a place Emily usually avoided without knowing why. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the carnival lights began to flicker to life, Emily found herself inexplicably drawn toward the clown tent. The fabric rustled in the breeze, and she could swear she heard the soft, haunting echo of a child's laughter mingling with the distant calliope music. She paused, feeling a chill that had nothing to do with the evening air. A glimpse of the unknown. As Emily hesitated at the entrance, the laughter seemed to grow louder, more insistent, urging her to step inside. She peered into the dim interior, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and fascination. Shadows loomed large, exaggerated by the sparse light, and she could just make out the figures of clowns, their painted faces frozen in eternal grins. Though she felt the weight of an unseen presence watching her, Emily could not look away. It was as if the very air inside the tent was charged with secrets waiting to be uncovered. Despite the unease prickling at the back of her neck, a part of her longed to delve deeper, to discover what lay hidden in the heart of the carnival's mysteries. And with that, Emily knew her summer at the carnival would be unlike any other. The clown tent. As Emily stood at the entrance of the clown tent, a subtle shift in the air made the hairs on her arms stand on end. The dim light inside flickered, casting long, exaggerated shadows that seemed to stretch and twist of their own accord. Her eyes were drawn to a clown standing near the center of the tent. It waved at her, but the motion was all wrong. too stiff, too mechanical, like a marionette controlled by unseen strings. A shiver chased down Emily's spine, and she glanced around for a source of comfort, something to ground her in reality. Her gaze fell on a cluster of balloon animals, floating eerily at eye level. They bobbed gently in the air, seemingly defying gravity, their vibrant colors muted in the dimness. Emily reached out to touch one, and it drifted away as if guided by an invisible hand. Tunson. Suddenly, the soft, distant echo of childish giggles filled the air, cascading around her like a spectral chorus. Emily's heart quickened, the sound unnerving in its peculiarity. She knew there were no children nearby. The carnival was nearly deserted at this hour. The laughter swirled, disembodied, growing louder and then fading into the rustling of the tent fabric. Her breath caught as she noticed a mirror at the far end of the tent. It was large and ornate, its surface slightly clouded with age. As she approached, Emily saw her own reflection and something else, a shadow flickering behind her just out of view. She spun around, but the space was empty, save for the clowns and their eternal painted grins. The lure of mystery despite the mounting fear, Emily felt an inexplicable pull toward the heart of the tent. Her instinct screamed to leave, yet curiosity anchored her in place. There was a story here, woven into the very fabric of the carnival, and she was compelled to unravel it. She took a tentative step forward, her senses heightened to every creak and whisper. The air was thick with an unspoken promise, a silent, beckoning to uncover the secrets that lay shrouded in the shadows. As she moved deeper into the tent, the laughter returned, softer now, almost inviting. And Emily knew she was stepping into a world where reality and imagination danced on the edge of a knife. With each heartbeat, the tent pulsed with an unseen energy, and Emily, caught in its thrall, couldn't help but wonder what lay at the center of this twisted, enchanting enigma. The first scare, as Emily ventured deeper into the gloom of the clown tent, the oppressive atmosphere seemed to thicken, pressing in on her from all sides. Her heart thundered in her chest, a relentless rhythm that matched the frenzied tempo of her thoughts. The air was charged with an inexplicable tension, as if the very fabric of the tent was alive, pulsating with secrets long buried. Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of movement, a clown emerging from the shadows. Its painted face was a grotesque parody of cheerfulness, stretched into an unnatural grin that never reached its hollow, lifeless eyes. Those eyes, dark and empty as the void, seemed to pierce through her, seeing everything and nothing all at once. Emily's breath hitched as the clown began to follow her, its movements unnervingly silent, like a specter gliding just at the edge of her vision. She quickened her pace, weaving through the maze of shadows, yet the clown matched her stride, never faltering, never making a sound. Panic rose within her, a tide threatening to sweep away her courage. Desperate to escape its unyielding gaze, Emily stumbled out of the tent into the open air. The carnival lights flickered reassuringly in the distance, a beacon of normalcy amid the encroaching darkness. She scanned the area frantically, but the clown was gone, vanished as if it had never existed. She spotted a group of carnival workers nearby and rushed toward them, her words tumbling out in a breathless torrent. Yet, as she tried to explain the encounter, she found herself faltering, unsure if anyone would believe her tale of the shadowy clown with hollow eyes. The workers exchanged puzzled glances, their expressions a mixture of concern and disbelief. They reassured her that she was likely imagining things, that the late hour and eerie ambience had played tricks on her mind. But Emily knew what she had seen, and the memory of those lifeless eyes continued to haunt her, a chilling reminder that not everything at the carnival was as it seemed. As the workers dispersed, Emily stood alone, the carnival's cheerful facade seeming suddenly fragile, a flimsy mask concealing a darker truth. she resolved to uncover the secrets lurking beneath the bright lights and painted smiles, determined to unravel the mystery of the clown with hollow eyes. The unseen clown. With the unsettling encounter still fresh in her mind, Emily returned to the clown tent the following day, determined to find answers. Her footsteps were cautious, echoing softly on the dew-dampened grass as she approached the tent, now bathed in the light of day. The fear from the previous night lingered, but so did her resolve to uncover the truth. She began by speaking with the carnival's performers and workers, hoping to identify the mysterious clown. Her inquiries were met with confusion. Each person she approached shaking their head in denial. "I've never seen a clown like that around here," one performer remarked, adjusting the bright red nose on his face. Another worker, sweeping up bits of popcorn and candy wrappers, paused to listen to Emily's description. "Doesn't sound like anyone on our crew," he said, frowning. "We don't have a clown with hollow eyes." Emily's frustration grew as the day wore on. She gathered descriptions of each clown working at the carnival, meticulously cross-referencing them with what she had seen. Yet none of the names or faces matched the silent figure that had haunted her steps. It was as if the clown had materialized from the shadows and then vanished back into them, leaving no trace of its existence. Whispers and rumors. The mystery deepened when Emily overheard snippets of conversation among the carnival staff. Whispers of ghostly figures and strange happenings at the carnival circulated like hushed secrets. It seemed she wasn't the only one who had experienced the inexplicable. One evening, as she lingered near the food stalls, she caught a snippet of a hushed exchange between two vendors. "I swear I saw something last night, right there by the carousel," one said, his voice low and urgent. "It was just standing there, watching." His companion shrugged it off with a nervous chuckle. "You've been working too many late nights. It's probably just your imagination." Emily's heart skipped as she realized that others might have glimpsed the same eerie presence. But fear and skepticism silenced many voices, leaving only tantalizing threads of stories half told. The mystery grows. Despite the mounting skepticism, Emily's determination only strengthened. She began to document her own experiences, scribbling notes and observations in a small, worn notebook she kept tucked in her apron pocket. The clown's enigmatic presence loomed larger in her mind. With each passing day, an enigma wrapped in the fabric of the carnival itself. As the sun set and the carnival lights flickered to life once more, Emily felt the tug of the clown tent once again. She knew it was a risk, but the pull of the unknown was irresistible. The mystery had woven itself into her very being, and she was determined to see it through to its conclusion. The carnival, with its duality of laughter and shadows, seemed to whisper its secrets just out of reach. And Emily, with her heart full of questions and her spirit unyielding, was ready to uncover whatever truths lay hidden beneath the painted smiles and flickering lights. As the carnival lights dimmed and the grounds emptied out, Emily found herself alone once more, her curiosity refusing to be quelled by the rational explanations of others. The night air was cooler, carrying with it an unsettling stillness that sent a shiver down her spine. She knew she shouldn't be there after hours, but the pull of the mystery was too strong to resist. The chase begins. Wandering through the deserted carnival, Emily felt the weight of 1,000 eyes upon her, shadows stretching and contorting in the low light. Suddenly a rustling sound caught her attention, snapping her out of her reverie. She turned sharply, her heart leaping into her throat. Standing at the edge of her vision was the clown, its hollow eyes fixed on her with an intensity that chilled her to the bone. Without thinking, Emily bolted, her footsteps pounding against the hard-packed earth as she raced through the darkened paths of the carnival. The clown followed silently, its presence a constant looming threat that seemed to glide effortlessly after her, never losing pace. Trapped in the maze, desperate to escape, Emily ducked into the house of mirrors, hoping to lose her pursuer in the labyrinth of reflections. The air inside was cold and still, the only sound her ragged breathing echoing off the mirrored walls. As she stumbled deeper into the maze, the clown's reflections multiplied, each one grinning malevolently back at her. Panic surged as she realized the mirrors were playing tricks on her, distorting reality. No matter which way she turned, the clown's image seemed to get closer, its face twisted into a grotesque mockery of amusement. Each reflection showed it reaching out, fingers brushing against the glass as though trying to breach the barrier between them. Emily's heart pounded painfully in her chest, her mind a whirl of fear and confusion. The maze twisted her sense of direction, each turn leading her deeper into its clutches. The reflections loomed larger, more menacing, and she could almost feel the cold breath of the clown on her neck. The heart of darkness. As she reached the center of the maze, Emily found herself face to face with a particularly large mirror. Her own reflection stared back at her, wide-eyed and terrified, but something was wrong. Behind her, the clown stood, its reflection grinning diabolically, though when she turned, the space was empty. Trapped in a nightmare of her own making, Emily realized the clown wasn't just a figment of the mirror world. It was real, and it was closing in on her. The air grew thick with dread, the oppressive silence broken only by the sound of her own panicked breaths. Summoning every ounce of courage, Emily closed her eyes, willing herself to wake from this waking nightmare. When she opened them again, the mirrors showed nothing but her own reflection. The clown seemingly vanished, but the fear remained, a lingering reminder of the horrors she had faced. As dawn broke, Emily stumbled out of the maze, shaken yet unbroken. The carnival lay silent around her, a deceptive facade of innocence hiding the darkness she had narrowly escaped. She knew the mystery of the clown was far from over, its shadow still haunting the corners of her mind, and she resolved to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The final confrontation. As the carnival's last patrons drifted away and the grounds descended into an eerie quiet, Emily steeled herself for the confrontation she knew was inevitable. The night was a tapestry of inky darkness, the stars obscured by thick clouds that seemed to press down upon the earth. The air was charged with a palpable tension, as if the very atmosphere braced itself for the unfolding drama. The descent into the nightmare. Emily wandered back to the clown tent, her heart a drumbeat of determination and trepidation. The entrance loomed before her, a gaping maw that seemed to swallow the light, inviting her into its depths. The fabric rustled like a living thing, beckoning her to step over the threshold and into the unknown. Inside, the tent was a world unto itself, a surreal landscape where reality seemed to blur and waver at the edges. The air was thick with the scent of stale popcorn and something acrid that stung the back of her throat. Shadows danced along the walls, their shapes shifting and writhing in a grotesque ballet. As Emily ventured deeper, the dim light seemed to pulse with an unearthly glow, casting everything in a sickly luminescence. Her footsteps echoed hollowly, each one a reminder of her solitude in this alien realm. The tent felt alive as if it breathed and watched, its presence a silent witness to the unfolding tale. Face to face with fear. Suddenly, the oppressive silence shattered as a figure emerged from the shadows. A clown, its painted grin stretched impossibly wide, eyes dark voids that seemed to draw her in. It moved with a fluid grace, its limbs bending. At unnatural angles as it approached, a marionette cut loose from its strings. Emily felt the world shift around her, the ground tilting beneath her feet as if she were slipping into a dream. The clown's presence was overwhelming, a nightmare made flesh, its grin a mockery of joy that sent shivers down her spine. Her senses screamed at her to run, but her feet remained rooted to the spot, held fast by an unseen force. The clown stopped mere inches from her, its face close enough that she could see the minute cracks in its makeup, the dull sheen of its painted skin. Its eyes, though hollow, seemed to bore into her soul, uncovering every fear and doubt she had ever harbored. The unveiling. In that moment, Emily understood the truth that had eluded her. The clown was not just a spectre of terror, but a reflection of her deepest fears, given form by the carnival's twisted enchantment. It was a trial, a test of courage and resolve, and she stood at the heart of it, facing the embodiment of her nightmares. Summoning every ounce of bravery, Emily reached out, her fingers trembling as they brushed against the clown's cold, unyielding skin. The contact sent a shock through her, a jolt that shattered the illusion and brought the world back into focus. The clown's grin faltered, its form flickering as if caught between worlds. Emily felt the power shift, the balance tipping in her favor as she confronted the fear that had haunted her. She took a step forward, her voice steady and clear, a challenge to the darkness. "You don't scare me," she whispered, her words infused with a strength she hadn't known she possessed. The resolution. With those words, the clown began to dissolve, its form unraveling like smoke on the wind. The tense, oppressive atmosphere lifted, the shadows retreating as light flooded the space. Emily stood alone, victorious over the spectre that had tormented her, the remnants of the nightmare dissipating into the ether. As she stepped out of the tent and into the pre-dawn light, Emily felt a sense of peace settle over her. The carnival lay quiet around her, its secrets laid bare, and she knew she had faced her fears and emerged stronger for it. The mystery of the clown had been unraveled, its hold broken, and she was free to embrace the dawn of a new day. The haunting echo. As Emily emerged from the tent, the first light of dawn brushing the sky with delicate hues of pink and gold, she felt a wave of relief wash over her. The terror of the night seemed to fade with the retreating shadows, leaving only the soft chirping of morning birds as a reminder of the world outside the carnival. Her heart, still racing from the encounter, gradually slowed to a more measured beat. Emily took a deep breath, savoring the cool morning air, free from the cloying scents of the tent. She had faced the nightmare and come out on the other side, stronger and more resolute than before. Yet, as she walked away from the carnival grounds, a lingering unease tickled the edges of her consciousness. The memory of the clown, its hollow eyes and twisted grin, was indelibly etched into her mind. The quiet of the early morning seemed almost too serene, as if the world held its breath, waiting for something unseen to reveal itself. A lingering presence. As Emily reached her home, the familiar surroundings offered a semblance of comfort, a sanctuary from the night's horrors. She settled into the quiet rhythm of her day, determined to leave the unsettling events behind. But as the hours passed, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was not alone. That evening, as she sat in her room, the shadows lengthening with the setting sun, a soft, almost imperceptible sound floated on the air. It was faint, like the whisper of a breeze through the trees, but unmistakable. A child's laughter, distant and haunting, echoing through the silence. Emily's heart skipped a beat, and she glanced around, her eyes searching the dim corners for something she knew she wouldn't find. The laughter faded, leaving her in a silence that suddenly felt oppressive, the walls of her room closing in like the confines of the tent. The unseen shadow. Though the laughter was gone, the unease remained, a persistent reminder that the clown's presence had not entirely vanished. It lurked at the periphery of her awareness, a shadow just beyond reach, a spectre that refused to be laid to rest. Emily knew that the carnival's enchantment had left its mark on her, that the boundaries between reality and illusion were forever blurred. She had faced her fears, but they had not been conquered. They had merely retreated into the shadows, waiting for the quiet moments when her guard was down. In the days that followed, whenever Emily found herself alone, the faint laughter would return, echoing through the stillness like a ghostly refrain. It was a reminder of the mystery that still lingered, of the secrets that the carnival held, and of the shadowy clown that might never truly be gone. With a determined heart, Emily resolved to embrace the uncertainty, knowing that life, much like the carnival, was a dance between light and dark. And though the laughter haunted her, it also served as a testament to her resilience, a reminder that she had faced the shadows and emerged, forever changed, into the light.